Hello, I'm Brittany Howell. And I'm Raiden Gary. This is 15 News for Kids. In the 60s, kids called it sniffing. In the 70s, it was known as snorting. In the 80s, it was hazing. Today, kids call it huffing. Any name it may be called, it still has the same adverse effects. A dangerous high that has long-term effects and sometimes causes death. 15 News for Kids reporter Taylor Coggin investigated the hazards of this bad habit.
The name may be new, but the concept behind huffing has been the same for years. Kids are inhaling the gaseous aerosol from spray cans for a short-term high, causing long-term effects. Dr. Tom Petrusik explains.
You can become psychologically dependent on it to escape from your daily routine. Long-term, you can get brain damage from these products that can be fairly severe if you overutilize them and affect you for the rest of your life.
What exactly is it in glues and aerosols that is giving kids this high? It's a chemical called nitrous oxide, or as Dr. Petrusik says,
it's an anesthetic agent that we use in the hospital every day, and it will intoxicate you. Laughing gas.
However, it's no laughing matter. The Grand Strand General Hospital has had several toxic overdose victims rush to the emergency room.
Unfortunately, we see that every year, and it numbers about 5 to 7 a year here.
The victims are sometimes quite young.
The average age runs between about 8 and 14.
Huffing can lead to death. Dr. D. Hart describes some of the warning signs of a toxic overdose.
The first symptoms, though, are some neurologic changes, which would be giddiness, kind of like being intoxicated. Sometimes can approach more of like you're going to sleep, like an anesthetic. That's kind of the first stage, and that's when we typically see people. Tragically, the deaths, however, are more associated with higher doses, inhaling 20 times a minute kind of levels for 2 to 3 minutes. We can have what's called sudden death, which is caused by cardiac or heart irregularities. No one really knows exactly what happens, but it seems that the heart gets more sensitive to adrenaline. In particular, individuals, when they first get up and start moving around, we feel that they have very irregular heart beats, and that's why they have sudden death.
There are several warning signs that parents should be aware of if there is any doubt of their child participating in this dangerous habit.
First of all, abrupt changes in behavior, or where one moment they're very giddy and laughing and perhaps have inappropriate affect or mood, if you will. There are some other things, though, more chronically that we would think about. Some of these inhalants can be very cold, and they can actually cause frostbite to the roof of the mouth and sometimes the lining of the nasal passages. So sores in the mouth that don't seem to correlate to cavities are some signs of ongoing inhalation or hoofing.
Death from huffing can occur from just one experience.
Tragically, we've seen that in the Cincinnati area, some recent cases reported, particularly if one inhales 10 to 20 times a minute for 3 to 4 minutes.
Because of the dangers from inhaling the fumes of aerosols and glues, many manufacturers are changing the ingredients of their products. I'm Taylor Coggin, 15 News for Kids.
This is 15 News for Kids. I'm Stephanie Berry. 15 News for Kids reporter Taylor Coggin reports on how the pressures to attain a muscular physique can cause some kids to take shortcuts for a stronger appearance.
As summer gets closer, some kids are looking to pump up their bodies for days on the beach or just to get in shape. David Helms, a physical instructor in Myrtle Beach, says that the safest way to build muscle is through a planned schedule.
Weightlifting is basically nothing but technique. You know, you start off at a ground basis. You learn all the techniques to weightlifting, and you go from there. You have to, weightlifting is like more of a trial and error type thing. You have to try and see what you can handle and what you can't with the proper technique.
Dieting plays a big role in muscle growth, David explains.
Diet plays probably 95% role in building muscle, because if you're not on a proper diet with the sufficient amount of protein, carbs, and fats in your diet, you can't build muscle.
Genetic background determines just how long it takes a person to really show progress in muscle build. However, some people try to shorten the amount of the time by using steroids.
Steroids are what is a synthetic hormone, which is testosterone. When you put a synthetic hormone in your body quits producing its own testosterone. So prolonged use could shut your own body's production of testosterone down.
Steroids do have negative side effects, including uncontrollable tempers, testosterone depletion, and mood swings. Plus, the drug can become addictive. There are protein supplements that are safe and can be used as additives to a diet to help condition and build muscle. There is no set age of when a person can begin a weight training program, but it should always follow a visit to a doctor.
You should see a doctor. That way you get a physical checkup. Make sure you don't have any physical limitations, things like that, especially younger kids.
A visit to your doctor, proper diet, and a well-planned workout schedule lead to muscle strength and a healthier lifestyle. I'm Taylor Coggin, 15 News for Kids.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Berry.
And I'm Taylor Coggin. This is 15 News for Kids.
As the summer tourist season picks up on the Grand Strand, so does the number of teen runaways.
Our first story tonight is of how parents and kids are helping to end this problem with help from a community hospital. Spending time in the sun can be good for you, but overdoing it can lead to serious skin problems. As you head outside to enjoy an outdoor activity or just to lie in the sun, you may want to take extra precaution before doing so. Because of depletion of the Earth's ozone, ultraviolet rays are beginning to cause serious damage to skin. Dr. Kenneth Warwick says the safest amount of time to spend in the sun depends on what type of skin you have.
Some people's skins will burn very easily, and so they are limited to a much shorter period of time than others. Also, there are certain skin conditions that make one's skin more sensitive.
The number of skin cancer cases in the United States is on the rise, especially with women between the ages of 24 and 45.
The malignant melanoma at the other end of the spectrum, while it is a relatively uncommon tumor, is becoming much more common and frequently gets into the bloodstream, metastasizes to other organs, has a very high mortality rate. Malignant melanoma is the most common cause of cancer deaths in women between the ages of 25 and 45. It is a very serious condition. Right now, approximately 1/3 of all people who get malignant melanoma die of malignant melanoma.
Ultraviolet rays from the sun can be warded off by using the correct sunscreen.
We recommend a product with at least an SPF of 15, preferably much higher if available. Today, oftentimes we'll recommend those in the 30 to 50 range.
Limiting the time spent in the sun as well as using the proper sunscreens are factors that will lead to healthier skin. If you get sunburned, the best relief comes from cold compresses, a natural aloe moisturizer, and staying out of the sun. That cash from those summer jobs sure does come in handy when it's about time to shop for back-to-school clothes.
It sure does. Coming up when 15 News for Kids continues, we found out what kind of safety checks are done at amusement parks before you venture out.
And 15 News for Kids weatherman BJ Sanders gives us a preview of summertime weather. Stay with us. Welcome back to 15 News for Kids. Reporter Lara Huline visited one of Myrtle Beach water parks to investigate what precautions are taken for the safety of its visitors. And now it's time to look at that summer forecast.
I bet it's going to be hot. Let's join BJ Sanders in the 15 News for Kids Weather Center. What's up, BJ?
It's gonna rain!
This is 15 News for Kids. Kids reporter Brittany Howell caught up with a voice that's quite familiar on the Florence radio airwaves, and you can bet it wasn't easy getting this guy to keep quiet. Coming up, we'll have details on how you can be a part of the next edition of 15 News for Kids.
And Taya Delco takes us on a prehistoric journey to the movies. Stay with us.
Well, that's just about going to do it for this edition of 15 News for Kids. But before we go, we'd like to tell you on how you can be a part of our next show.
If you're between the ages of 8 and 15, be at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion's teen nightclub, The Attic, on Saturday, July 9th, between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Be prepared to go on camera and tell us why you want to be a part of 15 News for Kids.
We hope to see you there. I'm Taylor Coggin.
And I'm Stephanie Berry. Until next time, bye.